Alright, here we go, boys and girls. When playing in Anna, do I have to respect Ash's angles as much as Widow and Hanzo's? I'm like... Wait. Oh, no, I already did this one. Did I just forget to post the... Okay, so Yeti, did I answer this one? I know I got up to like here. I forgot to post the I forgot to do the Ask Spilo up to that, but up to May 16th, did I get this? Did I ever, so like basically, Yeti, did I get yours? Because that kind of tells me where I'm at. I can't remember. How do I play Overwatch? That was the last one? Okay, I'm not sure if they were posted after I did the thing. Okay. Alright, how does a Winston play if the team is running a standard brawl or spam comp? Okay, so basically the first thing, a lot of it depends on the circumstances, but the one thing that Winston can do consistently besides diving is a Winston can consistently flank. Okay, flank. Right? So if you're playing a brawl comp or a spam comp, right? Like let's say you're running Rhine, Reaper, May, Moira, Lucio, okay? And you're just smashing into the enemy team. Yeah, Winston's not going to be super great at that, right? Frontwards going into the enemy team. He's not terrible because Bubble's pretty useful, but he's not great, okay? He's not great. So what you could do instead is while your team pushes in really hard, really fast, you can go behind and pressure the enemy backline. And what does the backline deal with? There's a brawl comp rushing on top of me, and there's a Winston on my backline. What the heck am I supposed to do? Okay? But if you're doing it at the same time, if you're like flanking at the same time as your team, this could actually work. This would work just fine. So flanking here, and then with spam comps, what you could do is like, let's say you're running like Orisa Hawk, or Orisa, let's say Hanzo, and then like a pharmacy over here, you know, pharmacy. It's a P, and then like a Zen, right? What you could do here is go, okay, when my Orisa places her shield down and my pharmacy is starting to pressure backline or starting to shoot tanks, then I go and I flank and I pressure backline, right? So you can get access to the backline instead of just shooting the enemy spam. Like you're not Orisa Hog versus Orisa Winston, you're gonna lose every single time unless you get to the backline, right? That's where Winston's strong. Winston's good on backline. But you can't just jump in and dive because you got no support. So you have to look and try and flank and sneak around and not take any damage. The only thing that's important is what I told Duelas. Remember, your timing on your flanks is important. Timing, you wanna be doing it at the same time as your team. Okay. As an Orisa, which I drop from high ground if ever, a lot of times you might, like, depending on your composition, if you don't have like a May or a Diva or something that can contest point safely or contest cart, Orisa eventually will have to drop to contest point or the objective often. But you don't always have to drop. But generally that's the number one reason that Orisa will drop from high ground is to contest a point or an objective. As a corollary to the recent Overwatch University list, what to do when your team gets a pick, you reviewed inherent time. Should the team not lose a or feed hard engage ASF, or should they also be trying to play slow and efficiently to help the team? Okay, so it depends. If you've lost a team member and there's no way for you to regroup and push back again once that person's back, so like let's say you're playing, let's say you're on Koth, okay? So like let's say you're on Koth, okay? So this is Koth, and the enemy team has the point, right? And team X goes into the fight, and team Y goes into the fight, and you guys are fighting each other, right? You guys are fighting each other, okay? And let's say team X sustains a casualty in the middle of the fight. Team X, most of team X should go hyper aggressive on the backline and try and get a kill. If you get a kill, great. No, but then you maybe will win the fight. If you don't, no big loss. You guys have to reset anyway because King of the Hill, the map size is very small. You're probably not going to reset, and there's no point stalling because you don't have the point, right? Another example would be if you're on, let's say, Numbani, like a payload map, right? So the payload pushes from the point here, or pushes from the point here. It goes around this way, goes around this way, goes around here, and then, whoops, I ran out of space, and then it's here, okay? Let's say that you guys fight here, right? And Team Yellow versus Team, let's say, Blue here, okay? Team Yellow loses the fight. They lose a man. Team Yellow here, backline maybe can start to slowly back off, Frontline goes in super aggro, tries to reset, and maybe you can get the on out, right? Depends on the circumstance. Generally, yes, you do want to be playing more aggressive when you're a man down, but there are circumstances where you can reset and back off, or you can stall. For example, like in King of the Hill, if you have 50% of Koth and you lose a man, don't go in hyper aggro. Maybe play really slow and defensive, try and stall. Maybe your guy gets back in time, or you'll lose the fight, but at least you wasted another 15-20 seconds of capture time because you play a little bit slower. But yeah, it is true that you do want to be playing more aggressive when you are down one, and generally, depends on the circumstance. Would you rather take the fight aggro or give up 2 ticks? I'd definitely rather give up 2 ticks. If I had the option of taking one fight with 6 after 2 ticks, or taking a fight of 5v6, I would always take the fight with 2 ticks. But the question is always, can you reset? That's the thing. Good teams, if they get a pick, they're not going to play super aggro, but they'll keep the pressure up, and oftentimes that 1 pick will turn into 2 picks, and then that's when it's really hard. Yeah, if you had a sniper comp, you could bait them into pushing too hard and kill them. Yeah, you could. People in Path to Pro talk about grinding a lot in the competitive ladder. At a certain point, does playing long hours really do much? Does it make sense to grind ladder for hours? If you're a serious contender for Owl, do you play ladder with specific objectives? Keep sharp. Is ladder for the top players more like mechanic players, to be certain grounds? Yeah, so first off, if you are looking to become pro and you don't spend a lot of time in ladder, you're probably kind of kidding yourself. I would say a good 95% of players that have reached the pro level have done so through a lot of rank practice, or needed rank practice to do so. Rank practice is for mechanics. It's for getting comfortable with your hero. You can always tell the players that are spending a lot of time in ranked, because whenever they have to learn a new hero or play a new hero, they always pick up the hero really fast in scrims. For example, Tap, who is the Flex DPS for Uprising Academy. When we had him playing Echo in scrims, when I was coaching him, I rarely coached him in on Echo Micro. It was only like very little things usually. Didn't help him a lot with ability usage. Didn't even help him that terribly much with positioning and movement. Mostly it was just his role in the composition. Why? Because Tap grinds ranked a lot. He was very comfortable, very mechanically talented, or very mechanically capable with the hero, so that means that when he got into scrims, he didn't have to think about like his ability usage and his mechanics as much. He could just play the hero and focus on like, what is my role in the comp, my communication, stuff like that. So you need to be grinding competitive ladder. Like, that's how you get the top tier level mechanics. That's how you maintain the top tier mechanics, and that's how you just build a certain level of comfort with the hero itself. Like, I am not an amazing mechanical Zenyatta, but I'm very comfortable with the hero due to my hours spent in ranked. And if I spend another 100 hours in with Zen, my comfort with the hero, my ability, know how to use my abilities, when to use my ult, would feel a lot better. So yeah, ranked is very important. It's not great, but it is a necessary evil. Obviously, scrims is more important, but you should be playing ranked to a certain extent every single day. As an extension of that, at a high level, how much do you want to be pros grind for improvement versus laddering to meet minimum team requirements? I heard a lot of teams want like 4.4 SR for each member, so it makes me wonder if they do so many SR, somebody's better on board, somebody's there. Yeah, so basically, let me put it this way. If you are 4.6k SR, your mechanics are good, and you're already somebody who I would consider trying for a contenders team. Because your mechanics and your ability at the hero, it's not just mechanics, like the heroes that you play, you're that good at them, right? Like, an Ana that has 4.6k SR is not just strong mechanically, she probably has good cooldown usage, good positioning, good ult usage, right? So that's worth looking at, right? Yeah, it's ranked, but it still matters. It's still the same game. It's not quite the same game, but it's still good. It's still important. Am I lagging? We still here? We still here? Hello? 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 Can you hear me now? Seriously, guys, I don't know what's going on, brothers. I did not even lose internet that time. That was weird. Okay. But yeah, if you're 4.4k SR and you've never climbed past 4.4k SR, I would bet the farm that you're not good enough to be in top tier contenders team. It's just very unlikely, unless you literally just don't play ranked at all, that you're good enough mechanically to be 4.4k. And even players that say, oh, I just don't play a lot of ranked, I focus on scrims, that's why I'm only 4.4k. Well, then how are you going to get better mechanics if you're not playing ranked? So like players that come to me, oh, I'm only 4.4k because, you know, I don't play a lot of ranked. That's still a red flag. You know, it's not even the SR at that point. It's the fact that you haven't actually played enough to make that SR higher. You know, that's like saying, oh, I'm not really good at free throws. I don't really practice a lot. Okay, that's not exactly something that, you know, doesn't exactly excuse you. You know what I'm saying? You should be grinding. You should be a higher rank through your grinding and your mechanics alone. If not, Hot Dad. Who is Hot Dad? Is that Chrono? What the heck? Chrono, man. Anyway, but yeah, 4.4K is honestly really low for a pro team. I would not take a 4.4K trial super seriously. At least peak 4.4K. There's a lot of 4.4K players that, like, you know, that's a place, but if you 4.4K peak, you're a hot dad, right? Is grinding useful for low rank folks? Yeah, definitely. Like, grinding is how you're going to get trials for better teams and how you're going to get better, like, yeah, 100%. Like, you need, like, every Diamond Master player needs to get better mechanics if you want to compete in contenders. Like, much better mechanics and much better competency with your hero. For me, I have a limited time playing the game every day. I spend a lot of time scrimming, so I can keep with the scrims with players with hires up. But when I get time to play, I feel super frustrated and lost. I mean, you should be going into... You want to be going into ladder with some stuff that you want to work on. Like, if you go into ladder and you're just like, I'm just going to play to have fun or play to win, you're going to be miserable. Just go in there and be like, I'm going to work on my positioning, I'm going to work on my trance usage, or I'm going to work on my leap management or my Winston mechanics or whatever. Oh, hey, Dana. Yeah, I knew your name sounded familiar. Good to see you, brother. It was really, really fun. We'll have to do some more, we'll have to hang out soon again. That was fun. The differences between Ball Diva, Ball Winston, and Winston Diva comps. Ball Diva is kind of scuffed because it's like hard dive, but then Diva doesn't really contribute a lot in the hard dive because the ball doesn't really need the matrix in the hard dive, so Diva's just kind of there. Sometimes that's why you'll see Ball Zarya with hard dive, because the Zarya helps the ball more. And you can run it with like a Doomfist, and you have like this ball Doomfist dive, and it's like all in. And obviously Zarya doesn't do a whole lot more there outside of projected bubble, but honestly projected bubble is better than matrix because ball gets value out of bubble. Ball does not get value out of matrix because ball dies to CC. Ball doesn't die to spam very much. And obviously matrix doesn't really help that much with CC. At least, you know, the bashes and the freezes and the hacks and stuff like that. So Ball Diva is not super good. Ball Winston is a very, 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 very hard dive. It's all in. So there's no like messing around, no tank trades, no spamming. You all in. You stage your dive and you go all the way in. Winston Diva comps is like traditional dive comp, but there's more flexibility allowed with it because Winston's a very flexible tank, and Diva can enable snipers, she can disable spam, she can enable her Winston to hard dive, she can peel her backline. So this is like a traditional, very flexible with the DPS, with the backline that you play, through the map you play. This is a very, very hard dive. This is not a good combo. This is like hard dive, but not really because you're running a Diva. Sweet. Why is peeling called peeling? It doesn't feel intuitive? I don't have no idea. Maybe peeling back and dealing with your backline? I don't know. Dude, my nose is so itchy, dude. I'm telling you, that mask, man, I've really got cat hair in my sinuses. I gotta take like a pressure washer and jack it up my brain. Banana peel. Cool. With Jaden having mauled himself into relevancy, that's kind of rude. But peak working in Valorant now. Do you have any recommendations for educational Overwatch streamers other than yourself? There's a guy, Overwatch School. I follow him. Sorry for the layer upon layer that you guys are about to have to deal with. I've only listened to a little bit of his stuff, but he seems to know his stuff relatively well. Look up Overwatch School. Yeah, there he is. Overwatch_school. He's got some decent stuff. I haven't watched a ton of his videos, so I can't vouch for him, but he does seem like a nice guy, and from what I've listened, seems pretty good. But not wrong. OW_school. OW_school. Is there a way to specifically work on improved games? That's mostly just an experience. Mostly just an experience thing. I think replay viewer is always a great thing to do because it kind of like feedback is how you improve, not just at like your mechanics, but also like, oh, why did I die here? Oh, because I forgot about Tracer doing this. Oh, I forgot about this doing this. And even if you don't necessarily go into a game, all right, anytime they have a Tracer, I'm going to remember when she doesn't have recall, and then I'm going to pressure her. Because that's too micro of a situation to practice. But even just going back and like saying that whenever you, like whatever mistakes that you see out loud can sometimes like build in that knowledge, I guess, wait, I don't know exactly how to put it. But yeah, I'll check that out later, Gabe. But yeah, definitely like self-out review can help with game sense, and then just experience really. If you're holding Nano Blade as you're pushing, you see a tank is about to die. As long as I correct the Nano tank, keep him up or let him die. Try to make up one anyway. I honestly depends on the tank. Like if it's a Nano Monkey, maybe you can Nano the Monkey and get away with it. But honestly, Nano Blade is so strong that you can win a 5v6 with it. So I would probably Nano the Genji. I would say 70-30 or even 75-25. I would Nano the Genji. Because you can win in 5v6 with Nano Blade. But nanoing a tank won't necessarily win the fight. Watching the replays after every game was always concerned. Yeah, well, then there's a reason. That's how you get feedback. How should I prioritize targeting enemies as tracers, especially when there's no easy targets like Xenia? I feel like half the time my tracers are more loser runners. Yeah, it sucks. The big thing I would focus on with your tracer is not necessarily the target you're shooting, but that you're doing so that you're shooting them from an angle. So like your team is pushing forward here and the enemy team is here. That you're shooting them from here, here, or here, right? And that you're shooting them at the same time as your team is pressuring them. Because things like McCree, Moira are going to be absolutely awful to deal with as tracer if they're not distracted. And the only way they're going to be distracted is if your tanks are doing something. So like a pressure from an off-angle side behind when your tanks are applying pressure or when they push into you guys. Because then, yeah, you're not going to assassinate a Moira, you know, very unlikely. But you will put out a lot of damage, and if they turn around to deal with you while your tanks are pushing, because it'll be Moira and, you know, McCree turn around to deal with you, well, then you just took out 2 people for your tanks that they don't have to worry about. Their tanks don't have healing, and your team doesn't have to worry about McCree damage. So it's worth it. But yeah, this is awkward, but you can work around it. Remember, it's like, Tracer's very hard to hard counter. You just have to be very disciplined with your timing. How many more? We will do... We'll do a couple more, and then we'll save the rest for later. On map 3, Anubis attack of the playoff Masters Chango, New Iran, the Zorian, Zarya, Doomfist, Morilus. If you look at this video, what advantage the Zoom friend is good? Is it? Maybe that not showing my sense. Chat, would you guys want me to go? Well, no, we'll look over. This is just a rush comp. You tell me, chat. Why would you run McCree? Why would you run? Why are people running McCree right now? Besides the fact that he's relatively strong, what is McCree's role in this composition? What's his job? Shut up, Zip. You moron. Your 5 minutes is up. I gave you a whole 5 minutes too. Yeah, I mean, Sabiolbe is obviously not in New York Excelsior. Echo, yeah, it's Echo. It's Echo. You just discourage teams from like going hardcore with the Echo. So you discourage teams from running Echo. You won't stop them from running Echo, but you know you discourage them from the Echo from getting value. This is just a rush comp. This is a rush comp. They're going to run it through left. They're going to rush out. They're going to push out really, really fast, and the Doomfist is going to punch. Now the reason why you run Doomfist here is because right now Mei in her current state isn't quite as strong, simply because like Wall has been nerfed, Freeze has been nerfed, Blizzard has been nerfed. The ability to just rush down and annihilate a target because you Mei walled them off is less valuable because you're talking about 2 DPS that don't give a rip about Mei walls, okay? Like these guys don't care about Mei walls. Who cares about Mei walls, right? They're gonna just jump around it or shoot around it or fly over it. So Doomfist, while he can't necessarily really deal with the Echo at all, he can actually threaten tanks more and backline more than a Mei can with the current meta. And probably the biggest reason why you'd run a Doomfist here is just because Libro's good at Doomfist. Like, that's going to be it. You're going to run Reinhardt Zarya, you're going to bubble your Doomfist in, who's going to create a lot of space, and then you're going to reset. And when you reset, your Kree is going to be threatening the Echo, and then you just take space and go in again. So you're going to see them go this way. They're going to build charge. They're going to push out really hard with Bubble Doom. They're going to try and take this high ground position away from them. They're going to stabilize, and then they're going to push the point. I don't know. I don't necessarily it's a good strat, but it's a strat that has cognitive consistency. Like there's a purpose for it. Now, what Shanghai needs to do is they need to permanently armor Fleta, and they need to put Fleta directly over Excelsior, because an armored Echo without an enemy having a Diva is something that should be exploited. Davo9, thanks for the follow. Here's the bubble. There's the bubble. Nothing out of the bubble. But he does get charged. Now, here it is. We saw it. Okay? I called it. Okay? They push out. They clear high ground. Now, all New York Excelsior has to do now is stabilize, maybe build some coalescence, and then push out again. But this time Shanghai has to properly rotate. So Shanghai needs to be getting high ground here, and they need to be getting high ground here. If they fail on collecting either one of these high grounds, Nixel will probably win the fight. Sabiolvi just feeds. Now Shanghai needs, now what Fearless needs to do, and what he's probably going to do, is walk on top of the enemy brawl team. He's got cooldowns, they have angles, they need to be going in hard now. And don't care if they're spam comp, you need to go. Yeah, they're gonna go. No fear. Throw Immortality Field, doesn't matter, you're gonna get it back by the time the next fight happens anyway. We'll finish the rest of this fight, by the way, if you guys want.
I hate to keep rabbiting on about it, but it's the exact same thing I was talking about in my crunch time presented by Chief.
Yeah, Yeti, remind me after I answer this question. Yes, Diva is good versus Echo. She's not good in the 1v1 versus Echo, but she deals with Echo. She helps deal with Echo. She's not good against Echo, though. No. There's no tank that's good against Echo. Echo is very strong. Now you're going to notice something.
I just don't think it's strategically sound.
How does how does Shanghai punish this rotation? How come Nixel dies here, but they didn't die in the rotation before? What's different? What's changed? What's changed in the situation? Besides the fact that Shanghai knows what they're gonna do. They knew that Nixel was gonna do this, so what did they do differently? They know their comp, yeah. Pulls, yeah. But there's more important than that. Way more important than that. Yep, DPS flank is deeper. They know the rotation, so they set up their off angle. If Dolos is still in here, this is like a Diva. You know where the fight's going to happen before it starts, so you set up a really greedy off angle. It's exactly what Fleta is doing. They know they're going to do this rotation, so Fleta gets up a really greedy off angle. Yep. There you go. So much damage. It's not even the damage here, it's the attention. They weren't even looking at the other damage threat. And now it's just permanent armor. Yeah, there's the armor. They're just gonna permanently armor Fleta now. Fleta is so free right now.
You lost your Lucio now. I feel like it's not the worst scenario in the world, but now New York are kind of lost without Animo. They need the speed boost.
Animo will be able to get back in now. Should be able to, unless he screws up hard. Ha, they baited Dynamite. That's cute.
Baits them a little bit. Baits out the Dynamite.
Look at the Echo. Look at Fleta here. He just does not care. He knows that they have to rotate. They're a brawl comp. They can't just run out in the middle of the spam. They have to try and clear out a flank. Okay. Okay. Now let's see Nixel. They have to initiate with Bubble Doom, clear high ground, rinse and repeat. Now this time they might commit the coalescence to clear the high ground. Commit the coalescence to clear the high ground. There's your alliteration. Almost certainly they'll commit the coalescence. They have to now. Yeah. So Shanghai uses a lot of ults there, probably more than necessary, but yeah. This is Nixel's fight to lose here. Again, they know the rotation.
Because Hopper's been shooting double shields the entire time. It's not his fault.
And he fails.
Map was winnable.
New York fan. Just step forward a little bit just to shield Animo. They have ultimates to use. This is New York's time to see if they can turn this around now. The sound barrier to coalescence is coming up.
There's the bubble. He fails. He doesn't have ult. That's super concerning. Oh, that's a feed.
Does go down almost immediately.
And now, right here, you're gonna see Nixel pushing in again. They've stabilized. They've cleared the high ground. And that's it. That should be it. Yeah. Okay. So Nixel really threw the first fight because they cleared the high ground, they got the space, and then Sabiolvi just fed. Like, you can't do that. Like, you can't do this long rotation, perfect rollout, everybody's healthy, and then somebody just does something stupid and dies, because you have to reset all over again and try it again, in which case you have to do the rotation again, but now they know they're going to do it, so now they're going to punish you in the rotation. So that was a disaster. So Nixel put themselves in a really bad spot, not by running a bad comp, but by running a comp that requires you to not do stupid stuff, and they did stupid stuff. But eventually they did pop off.
enough damage being put into them. It means that New York are able to capitalize.
Yeah, so anyway, hope that answers your question. The comp is there to aggressively take space and brawl the enemy team. The McCree is there to zone the enemy echo. The Zarya is literally just there for the Doomfist. That's literally all she's there for, that and to create space. Moira, that Lucy, just because it's the best brawl comp. You speed. If you have any questions about that, let me know. Last question, and then we're going to call it. We'll save the others for later. With main support, when you realize you need to be playing start game around, what should one's mindset be? For example, on Flex I tend to... Wait, what does that have to do with... Okay. For example, on Flex I tend to try to use my utility a lot more aggressively, and I'm often not sure what to do with me, so like Lucius, if we're going from us, especially with other should don't feel like that. I mean, obviously this is obviously really, really good, but you can assassinate squishies. Go kill a Zen, go kill an Ashe, go kill a McCree, go kill the enemy Ana. You could do it. Go funny Astro on them. Additionally, what's the thought process of deciding whether you use beat aggressively or defensively? You use beat defensively if you have something that you are 100% certain that you can counter, like a flux. You use your beat aggressively if there's nothing that you can directly counter, or you're not certain that you can counter it. So the enemy team has Nano Blade, yeah, you can save beat, but that might be a little bit sketch. But if they have like Rip Tire and like Bongo or like Diva Bomb, just beat aggressively and go in and kill them. Like, don't wait to try and counter it perfectly. Beat aggressive, beat aggro. If you can get your team on the same page, is like one of the best ults in the game. It's great. But if you're trying to consistently use defensively, make sure that what you're countering, that you're sure that you can counter it. Why am I clicking here? What is this Mayhem link? Sideshow. Humor. Thoughts of the Florida trade? I don't know, man. I don't know how they're going to be able to pull back from this one. Tough move.